memorizing all of the notes on your guitar and just how important it is to be able to do this. And I know people struggle with this quite often, and it doesn't really need to be the drudgery that it seems to memorize the notes, but it really does make a difference when you make the move from just visualizing shapes on your fretboard to actually start seeing functionality and how things work and interact with each other, whether it be chords or arpeggios or whatever it might be. It becomes very, very important in your journey. Now, if you don't ever see yourself getting there, then I suppose it probably isn't that important. But I would really love to talk to you about it anyway, in case it is something that you might see yourself doing in the future. So the first thing is how to memorize the notes. It can be overwhelming, all 6 of these strings and all of these frets. And so what I've done is I've figured out a shortcut. Now, you may have learned this before, but I am going to go through it, and then I'm going to show you how to relatively learn all the other strings as well. But basically what you do is you try and pick a string that you want to study, and you need to make sure that you study it in full and you understand it completely before you move on to another string. Because if you move too quickly, the problem is it just gets messy in your head and you can't really use the information in real time anyway. And really, we always have to remember with guitar playing, that's kind of what's most important, is how quickly can we access the information. It's not just do we know it or did we learn it at some point in our lives, it's can we use it, and can we use it quickly and efficiently is really the point. So, sitting there getting confused on all the strings doesn't really do you any good, because that's might be why you're watching this video anyway, right? So what I did was I created kind of a shortcut to use on each string, and we're going to start with the 6th string, and I'm going to explain it to you, and then we'll go through all the other strings and explain a relative way that you can look at your notes, and then an absolute way and how it can help you. So the first thing is understanding that, obviously we need to know the tuning: E, A, D, G, B, and E. Now again, you might tune differently for different reasons and things like that, but for our purposes right now, that's what we're doing. So what I'm going to do here is on the E string, what I want to do is I want to memorize all 12 of these notes. And what I figured out a long time ago is if I just had students memorize all 12 notes, it tended to be overwhelming for them and they still had to count. And that's what we're trying to avoid, is having to count. We just want to know. If someone says 7, we think B, or 3, we think G, or 6, we think B flat, or whatever it might be. We want to know those absolutely. So what I did was I came up with this little shortcut where what we're going to do is we're just going to learn the prime notes, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. We're going to learn where those are on the 6th string. We're not going to worry about sharps or flats or anything like that to begin with. We just want to memorize those prime notes and get those embedded in our brain. And once we know those, then let's say those are colored blue, for instance, right? Then the ones in between are the sharps and the flats, and those will start kind of surfacing, and maybe those are colored yellow, right? And we see those a little bit differently because we're viewing them relative to the blue notes, the prime notes. So what we want to do here is we want to take and utilize the dots on the guitar, okay? And again, not every guitar has the same dots. Some people have dots at 1. Some people don't have dots at all. Just kind of follow me here and see how this works for you. So if we look at the dots, basically the dots are placed on odd numbered frets. Now, I don't have a dot in the 1st fret, but many people do. I'm looking at one of my ESP guitars sitting over there, and it's got one on the 1st fret. So some people do, some people don't. But if it did, I'd have 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. They're located on the odd numbered frets. And then there's 2 dots at the 12th fret. Now, the 12th fret isn't an odd number, but that's telling us we've gone an octave. This is E, and this is E. Right? So what we're going to do is we're going to memorize the notes on the odd numbered frets. Okay, or we're going to use those as our markers. So the 6th string is E. We know that, and we need to know that. Okay? So the 1st fret of the 6th string is F, and it just is. So for instance, if you thought about it, how hard is it to memorize that the 1st fret of the 6th string is F? Well, it's not hard at all, right? So F and E. Okay? So we've already made a dent. We've got E and F. Well, if we went to the 3rd fret, this note is G. E, F, and G. Now, the note in between is actually F sharp, or we could call it G flat. F sharp and G flat are the same note. They just have 2 different names. We refer to that as an enharmonic. So F sharp and G flat. Okay? But let's not worry about that right now. Let's just think about the F and the G. So we have E, F, and G, 0, 1, and 3. So even if you just started with that for just 5 minutes and just thought about it and went 0, 1, and 3, E, F, G. F is at 1, G is at 3. You just get that straight in your head. Okay, so you're seeing that this isn't so bad right now. So we have F, G, and then this fret, 5th fret, is A. F, G, A, 1, 3, 5. Now, of course, I could do it this way too, but I want you to see the frets here. So that's why I'm doing this over the top. I don't expect you to do this, okay? So F, G, and A. If we move to the next dot, that's the 7th fret, we now have B. F, G, A, and B. 1, 3, 5, and 7. So what I want to memorize is not only the name of the note, but the fret that it's at. 7 is B. 5 is A. 3 is G. F is 1. And I want to see that in my head. G is 3. I want to see that in my head. A is 5. B is 7. Okay? And even if I just did that and just memorized that much for a week or whatever, right? Just really get that in my brain, because the next little part is the screw up that you're going to see on a lot of these other strings as we keep going. Now, if I go to the 9th fret, it has a dot. This was B. This dot right here is not C. This dot right here is C sharp. Now, what we have learned is that the guitar doesn't have dots to correlate with E, F, G, A, and B, and C. The dots are just there to help you visually see the odd-numbered frets when you're playing, maybe standing up or whatever, so you don't have to keep looking at the front of your guitar. There's no correlation between the notes in music and the dots, no exact correlation anyway. So we see F worked, G worked, they worked on dots, A and B worked, but now we're on C sharp. So we have a problem there. So what I tell people is think about what surrounds that C sharp, which is C and D. So we're still visualizing this 9th fret, but what we're really looking at it for is to visualize the C and the D that surround it. So what we've learned is when we're learning the notes on the guitar, either the notes will line up with the dots or they're going to surround the dots. F, G, A, B, C, and D. 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, and 10. 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, and 10. F, G, A, B, C, and D. And you just keep telling yourself that over and over and over. And again, C and D, because they surround that dot, don't need to be any scarier, right? You just matter-of-factly learn that. So F is 1, G is 3, A is 5, B is 7, 8 is C, and 10 is D. 1 is F, 3 is G, 5 is A, B is 7 is B. There we go. That's what I meant to say. 8 is C, and 10 is D. Okay? So you just memorize that and you think about it. You put your guitar away, you think about it. You grab your guitar, you visualize it, you think about it. It's not just a matter of playing it, because really playing it isn't really the point. It's can you see it? Not can you find it? That's the difference. That's the difference in knowing something absolutely and knowing something relatively. If we have to count up, we don't really know it. And if we're in any situation where maybe we're nervous or we don't have a lot of time or whatever the case may be, that's where we're going to run into a problem is now we have to try and figure all this stuff out. Well, when you start talking about chords and different notes of different intervals and things like that, you don't necessarily have all that much time, and it can be very confusing. So the more we know of these notes, absolutely the better off we are. So F, G, A, B, C, and D. 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, and 10. That's the premise. Now, your first string would already be memorized because if you know the notes on your 6th string, of course, you know the notes on the 1st string because they're both E strings. So anything you did here, E, F, G, A, B, C, and D, you know them on your 1st string as well. Again, that's the logic, but you still have to make sure that you can look down and make that make sense. A, B, C, D, E, right? You want to be able to find those. B, C, D, A, F, G, A, B, C, D. Just think about it a little bit. Just spend some time with it. And if you think about it, even if you just took the 6th string and the 1st string and you spent a whole month memorizing those notes or whatever, it still means in a year you'd already know this. By next year at this time, you'd have all these notes nailed, right? Where how many years have you been playing now and maybe you don't know the notes, right? So just keep things in perspective. It's not as bad as you think, and maybe it wouldn't take you a month. I don't know. But it's something you get to spend time with every day. So now let's input the yellow colored notes that I was talking about before. So if this is F and this is G, in between F and G, as I said at the beginning of this, we have F sharp, or we can call it G flat. Okay, that note has two different names, F sharp and G flat. We can call it either one of those things. Well, anytime there's a space, we're going to have that. G to A, we're going to have G sharp, sharp always moves up, or A flat, flat always moves back. Here we have A and B, so A sharp, B flat. So it's great because if somebody says B flat and you know B, you know absolutely B is 7, well then B flat is 6. You can find it that quick. It's instantaneous. F sharp, well where's F? F is 1. F sharp is at 2. You find it that fast. So that's what you're going to do with each string, but let's just take a little look here. So A, okay, A, B would be on the 2nd fret. This would be A sharp or B flat, right? So A would be on this, or excuse me, B would be on the 2nd fret. So already we have an issue with our 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and that's okay. A and B surround the 1st fret there. So that's something we have to learn. Now we get back on track. We have C, D, E, and then F and G surround this dot right here. Ooh, that sounded like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Right? So F and G right there. So we have A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. So on the 5th string, again, you think A is 0, B is 2, C 3, D 5, E 7, F is 8, and G is 10. And you keep telling yourself that, and maybe you even say it out loud. Maybe even find someone to help you with this, right? And maybe they'll say, where's F? And you go, okay, so A, F is at the 8th fret. Okay, well, where's G? Oh, it's at the 10th fret. Where's D? Oh, it's at the 5th fret, right? Where's B? It's at the 2nd fret. And you get used to saying it, because the more you say it and the more you think it, not just visualize it. Visualizing is huge, but say it. Get your brain saying it. So where's E? 7. Where's F? 8. Where's G? 10. Where's C? 3, right? You just do that over and over and over. Now, what I like to do with students when they get to this point is you start showing them relative connection. So for instance, G on the 6th string is here. Well, G on the 5th string is here. And you get used to seeing those. You make that relative connection, which is really great when you start learning maybe some arpeggios. Right? Because you can start seeing how they all connect together off of that note, wherever it is that you're finding this. So G, or maybe it's B, right? So now we see that B up here on the 6th string is at 7. We actually have to go this direction to find B on the 5th string. Well, let's say we were going to build a B minor arpeggio. So we're looking for that D right there, right? So we build that. And I could even go this direction. Right? And again, that goes into a whole other conversation. But the point is that knowing where those notes are is really important. Okay? So there's our notes on the 6th string and our notes on the 5th string and how they connect together. Okay? Well, then we move to the 4th string. The 4th string is D. Well, then we have E, which is at the 2nd fret. Again, it's not at the 1st fret. D and E surround that 1st fret, so we have to get to know that. Now we get back on track again. F, G, A, B. So this string is good to go all the way up through there. B is right here, and C is at the 10th fret. So we have D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. D, E, F, G, A, B, C. 0, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 10. And again, we get used to thinking about those. Well, where's G? And G? And G. Right? We try and find them on all strings. D. Sorry, I said D and I went to G. Let's do D, and D, and D. Or even here. Okay? Whatever it might be. Let's do F. So we have F here. We have F way up here. And we have F down here. So we get used to visualizing those. Now, because we've learned the 4th string, you might start visualizing your octaves. If you've ever done octaves before, like when you play a power chord or a bar chord or something, And this note right here on the 6th string and this note right here on the 4th string are octaves of each other. If this is G, so is this. You see? So you can see them that way as well. So D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. All right? And then moving to the G string. Again, G to A, we got to skip that first string. So what we're noticing here is that we're skipping the first fret, I should say. Sorry. We're skipping the first fret quite a lot. G to A, D to E, A to B, E to F. We use that first fret, right? But now we've got G to A. And then B is actually off a dot. Then we get on track. C, D, E, and then F. So G, A, B. So we have two of them that are off dots there. G, A, B, C, D, E, F, and then G. And again, same idea. Let's go with G again. G, G, G. Okay, and let's think about this string. Okay, or let's choose A. Well, we have A here, A, or octave, right? We have A, or A, or F. Let's try F. F, F, sorry, F. I was thinking of something else. F, and then this string, we got to come all the way up here. You see that? So you just spend a little bit of time on each one and choose any note you want. And the goal is you don't have to be in any hurry. You just take your time through this thing. Okay? B string comes up. I might as well do the last one since we've done all these anyway. So B, C is on the first fret. We're finally back on that first fret. And then D, E. Now here's where we run into a problem. F, G, and A are all off the dots. F, G, and A. But that's okay. Half of it is on, half of it is off. That's an easy way of looking at this. B, C, D, E, F, G, A. That's actually quite simple. Okay? So again, going through our idea here, we have F, right? And then next string we have F, and the next string we have F. Look how much we're moving around. F. Then we got to go to this string and find F. Well, we have B, C, D, E. And then remember, F is off the dot. F, G, and A are all off dot. So there we go. Okay, so great way of finding all these. Let's try something we haven't tried. Let's try C. So there's C. There's C. Now we got to go to the D string here. C is up there. And we got to go to the next string. Okay, and C. And then the next string. Well, if you had C right here, you have C right there. So that's the basic idea, is that you're learning two different things. You're learning to see the string as its own, and you're visualizing those prime frets. And then when you want a secondary, or prime note, so when you want a secondary note like F sharp or C sharp or whatever, you find that in your head, just tilt it off of wherever your prime note is, right? And then you start learning where those are relative to each string, and it just makes the whole thing a lot easier when you start learning, again, your scales. So when you're playing a scale, you're not maybe just seeing the fret numbers or the shape or something, but maybe you're actually seeing the notes that are being played, which would be a pretty amazing thing. So anyway, take care. I hope that helps you a little bit in your practice. This isn't something that needs to be tackled on its own, right? You should still be practicing your songs and your theory or your licks or your solos or your technique or whatever. It's just a really wonderful thing to add on top of everything else that you're doing. If you want to play songs across the entire fretboard or play solos over different styles of music that people will love because they sound great and look effortless, and ultimately have more fun playing guitar and have the confidence to jam with fellow musicians, then you're going to want to pay very close attention to this message. Because you're about to discover a simple way to play songs and solos across the fretboard that sounds amazing and looks so effortless that people's jaws will drop because they can't believe how well you're playing, without spending hours of your time learning confusing music theory. My name is Steve Stine, and I'm a guitar player just like you. I've always known the fretboard was a big deal, but was kind of overwhelming. I've been teaching guitar since 1987, and I just turned 51. Maybe it's my age or something, but I never really got how some people can learn the fretboard by memorizing diagrams. And I've tried all kinds of stuff like I'm sure you have, and it sure has been frustrating. like spending hours with my nose stuck in a book packed with hundreds of fretboard diagrams, or listening to someone who's practically speaking a different language trying to explain exactly what I need to know in a way that I understand it. After spending all that time and money, it never really clicked, and it felt like one critical piece of the puzzle was missing. Plus, I've never felt comfortable trusting that I understand or know how to do something without applying it in the real world. I thought there surely must be something easy that helps you to play songs and solos without having to worry about learning every chord and scale. That's when I dug through all my notes and discovered a shocking fact. You don't need to know every chord or how to play all the modes to play the most popular rock, pop, country, metal, or blues songs. You don't need to know how to thread all the scales together to play solos. I realized that you just really need to know triads. A triad is 3 notes that make up prime chords like major, minor, and diminished. When you can see those 3 types of triads on your fretboard, you'll play songs faster than ever before. And you can easily combine them to create solos. Triads are kind of like landmarks on a map. I use them to get from point A to point B on the fretboard, and I know when I play them, they'll sound great because they're part of the chord and work in any key. When I learned triads, my guitar playing improved tremendously because I always knew where to go. I never got lost and wasn't playing the same old scales over and over again. After a while, I started sharing this with some of my private students. They started getting results too. So I decided to record my exact method and show how anyone can use triads to play songs and solos across the fretboard that sound amazing and feel effortless. And that's how my new course, Fretboard Framework, was created. Here's what you're going to discover. Simple triad patterns that spread out over the entire fretboard so you'll know exactly where to put your fingers. Lots of guitar players seem like they're spending hours practicing boring drills and memorizing every single scale pattern. The good news is you don't have to do that because there are only 3 types of triads you ever have to learn to play the majority of popular songs and play awesome solos too. This 2-hour course is completely online and broken down into short, easy-to-digest videos where I show you exactly how to use triads to play songs and solos across the fretboard. The first few videos explain exactly what a triad is and demonstrate how the 3 main types of triads, major, minor, and diminished, allow you to play creative harmonies and melodies. They're also powerful for playing songs because you'll learn new voicings so you won't be stuck playing big, blocky chords and your guitar playing will sound more interesting. You can even use triad arpeggios in your solos to create melodic lines that don't sound like you're just playing a boring scale. I show you where the triads are across the fretboard so you'll know exactly where to put your fingers. In the last half of the course, I show you how to unlock the fretboard with the cage system and how to apply everything you learned to play over some jam tracks. This will allow you to really wire triads into your guitar playing and help you see the fretboard in a whole new way. You get lifetime access to my Fretboard Framework course so you can go at your own pace, watch the videos again and again until you're ready for more. The videos are short and easy to understand so you never get bogged down with a bunch of useless information that won't improve your guitar playing. Similar good courses cost hundreds of dollars or even $1,000 at Berklee College of Music online. Or you can do like I did and spend thousands of dollars in college learning what I'm going to show you. With all that said, this could easily sell for $1,000. After all, similar courses sell for $14.97. Of course, it won't cost you $1,000, not even $500. Not even $100. You get the complete Fretboard Framework course for just 3 payments of $27.60. Or you can save 70% if you want to make 1 payment of $69. But it gets better because when you order today, you also get 2 exclusive live sessions where you can ask me your most burning questions about the course. And you don't have to worry about making it because they'll be recorded and uploaded so you can watch them at any time in the members area. Another one of the most important skills you can develop as a guitar player is ear training. That's why I've included my Ear Training 2.0 course as a special second bonus. You'll learn the secrets of playing songs by ear and be able to listen to songs and instantly know what notes will sound great for your solos. If you were to buy this on the website a few months back, it would have cost you $99, but you get it free when you order today. And if you order in the next 15 minutes, you'll get my 3.5-hour Essential Guitar Skills course that originally sold for $99. You'll discover all the skills you need to be a well-rounded lead guitar player. This will allow you to play freely across the entire fretboard and get really creative when it comes time to solo. With this course, you're going to overcome problems like not knowing where to start and end your solos, worrying about what scale will sound good for leads, and alternative scales you can use to improvise better solos than you ever thought possible. You won't have to worry about feeling lost or confused because your fingers will be trained to instantly find the right notes without any hesitation. So, to recap, you get my new Fretboard Framework course and all the great bonuses I just mentioned for just 3 payments of $27.60 or 1 payment of $69. And you're protected by our 30-day guarantee. Truly put it to the test for a full 30 days and see if it's right for you. If you don't think it's a good fit, no big deal. Just contact our friendly support team and they'll issue you a full refund or exchange. No questions asked, no receipt required. However, I can only offer this price and bonuses for a short time. After that, the price increases to $199 and the bonuses will not be included. So click the button below and get started today. As soon as you place your order, you'll get a receipt in your email with instructions on how to access the course. You'll also get a spot in the 2 live sessions and immediate access to the Ear Training 2.0 and Essential Guitar Scales bonus courses. If you want a simple way to play songs and solos across the fretboard that sounds amazing and looks so effortless that people can't believe how well you're playing without spending hours of your time learning confusing fretboard diagrams, then you're absolutely going to love Fretboard Framework. And it's simple to get started. You log into the course and watch the first short video, and as you build your skills, you move to the next video, always at your own pace. You can watch and repeat lessons as many times as you need. Remember, this could easily sell for $1,000, but you can have it today for 3 payments of $27.60 or 1 payment of $69. And when you order, you'll also get the 2 live sessions and immediate access to my Ear Training 2.0 and Essential Guitar Scales courses. You'll learn the secrets of playing songs by ear and all the scales you need to improvise solos over any song. The bonuses alone have a $438 value, and you get our 30-day guarantee. But remember, I can only offer this price and bonuses for a short time. After that, the price increases to $199 and the bonuses won't be included. So click the button below and